Hello everybody, Blue Dooley, and this is part one of reviving a monster. And the monster I'm talking about is the Kyosho USA 1, the original one from mid-90s Kyosho. So this is a fully independent truck, and it is the only truck at the time that ran the same size tires and fit kind of in the same class as the Tamiya Clodbuster. And these are actually Clodbuster tires. The trucks, when stock, were the same wheelbase, same width. Both came with Chevy bodies. Of course, this one came with a newer style Chevy that was actually the USA 1 truck back in the 90s, that style, 90s style Chevy. I still managed to keep the 3 Predator carbs on top of the fake little motor there. The lights for the light bar went missing a very, very long time ago. I got this truck in junior high. So again, early 90s, like 94, 95, somewhere in there. My initial video was, my little short I posted was a little off. But I got this as a teenager. And Mom and Dad actually let me get out of school, which is kind of surprising because I wasn't very good at school, in either 96, 97, or 98. Not 100% sure which year I went, but they let me go to the NRCTPA Monster Truck World Finals in Holiday, Ohio, which was a very podunk town at the time, if I remember correctly. And I was actually running this Dodge body, which you've seen in crawler videos because I ran it on Wheelie King at the World Finals. And I'm surprised, I thought we had lost it, but Mom found the DVD that has the original VHS tape filmed my dad took at the Truck World Finals. So I've already ran it through my editor and cleaned it up as best as I can. It is in a 4.8 aspect ratio, unlike the 16:9 that the GoPro runs in. So I can kind of tuck it up in the corner and we'll kind of let it play in the background. I had to mute all the sounds from it because Dad put copyrighted music on it because he didn't know it would get uploaded to the internet 30 years later, or almost 30 years later. But that was a cool find. I'm really glad I found that because that was a fun event. And I really appreciate my parents letting me miss school to go play with toy trucks, even though it was only once. And I did terrible. Because unfortunately, all of the competition was pretty much retired dudes with a lot of time and money. They also had a lot more practice racing than I did. I just bashed the truck mainly. There was nobody to race when I was in junior high in Laramie, Wyoming. Like, I was the only one with a monster truck. I had a buddy with a bruiser. Another buddy had a Losi buggy. So yeah, nobody to really monster truck race with. But this truck's been sitting unran for so long, and I think it's time to rebuild it. I do still have the original motors and the original ESC I ran in the truck. The radios were all AM with big long pull-out antennas and the AM crystals you used to make sure that you and your friends weren't running on the same frequency. I threw those away a long time ago, just because when I got back into RC you could get a decent radio that was the 2 point whatever gigahertz that everybody runs now for less than I paid for them AM transmitters, and they're way better. So what I actually ran in the truck was this Tekin Titan, which at the time was one of, if not the baddest, most coolest ESC you could get. I believe, it's been a while since I've looked up any tech specs on it, but this thing could handle 28 cells in a NiCad pack. So that's still a hell of a lot of voltage for the 90s. And it actually works because you can go back to my channel when James and I were wheeling the Wheelie King with this Dodge body on it. I was running this for a little while in it, and still works even with the modern radios. So that was hooked to, I only had 6-cell NiCad packs, 1500 milliamp. So battery technology's improved quite a bit too. And then it had a pair of these Kyosho mega motors in it, standard rotation, and then the front uses a reverse rotation. These motors are so old and not really well cared for, so I imagine they're good, no good, and I don't even know why I still have them. The ESC I know is still good. Now I also had a Clodbuster for a little while, and I ran the same speed controller in it, but I ran a pair of, I believe these were made by Trinity, the Midnight 2 Pros in that Clodbuster. I burnt this one up in the Wheelie King, so I need to take the pinion gear off of it and throw both of these motors away, because for some reason I still have 2 burnt motors. But when I initially put the Grand Hauler back together, the local hobby shop didn't have the ESC I wanted, and I kept it, but I have a Hobbywing Quick Run, the 860 Dual. So this is a dual motor speed controller. So this will run 2 brush motors, and it is LiPo capable. You can also set it for crawler mode, boat mode, forward brake, or forward brake in reverse by flipping a few little switches in here. I don't even know if you'll be able to see them, but there's some little switches in there you can change the modes. So this would be a good fit for this truck. I was looking online as I was going to put it to retro monster truck specs. The problem with that is all of those rules forgot this truck existed. So since it's independent front and rear suspension, it actually doesn't fit into the retro monster truck class. Although I'm sure if I raced it and showed up with a 30-year-old Kyosho, somebody would be like, that's pretty cool. And since you're running the same turn motor as the Clodbuster guys, they might let me run it. I don't know. I don't plan on racing it, as there really aren't any monster truck events really close to me. So I just want to get this running again to get it running again. Of course, servos and batteries and radios have come a long way since when I first got this. So some middle of the road steel gear servos will work just fine in this, as I think those Hexfly servos I use in my crawlers, those 25 kilograms, are probably twice as powerful as anything I could have put in the truck when I was in junior high. Again, 30 years ago. We'll have to find a new body for it. I had brought out, I got a J Concepts Lloyd, but this thing absolutely dwarfs the Chevy, and the wheelbase is quite a bit different. So that unfortunately isn't going to work. We'll take the body off here. So the truck isn't 100% stock because I have a Sassy Chassis aluminum chassis for the truck, which makes it a little longer wheelbase, and of course kicked me out of stock class. The only downside is in all the moves and stuff this poor truck's done. Dog interruptions. As I said, Sassy Chassis, aluminum chassis. I think it stretched the wheelbase like 2 inches. I don't remember. It's been a long time since I've bought this. Unfortunately, in all the moves, these shocks have been froze and thawed so many times because the truck's been out in the garage for years and years. The shocks are probably just garbage, and some of the hubs and knuckles went missing on me. So I 3D printed these out quite a while ago, and they fit and they work. So now that I got my 3D printer running a little better now, I'm working on printing these parts at 100% infill instead of, I think these are 50% infill, because I just wanted to see if they'd work. So that'll allow me to at least get the truck running again. The rear bumper is missing, but otherwise the truck is all here. I got the upper plate, all the steering links and stuff I still have, so it's not going to take too much work to get the truck running again. These two bodies are so thrashed and been on multiple vehicles at this point. This has been on 2 trucks. This has been on this truck, the Clodbuster, and you can see from all the holes, it actually was also on a Team Associated aluminum pan touring car chassis. I don't even remember what chassis that was anymore, because again, that was a long time ago when I traded it off before I even graduated high school. So there's a bajillion holes in this thing. It actually still has a hole for the antenna. I think the Dodge body does too. Yeah, the Dodge has a hole in it for the antenna. So both of those bodies need to be retired because they've served their purpose, and I'm actually surprised they have not completely disintegrated at this point. So this is going to be part 1, reviving a monster, which is getting my original Kyosho USA 1 running again. This is my first hobby grade truck, or hobby grade vehicle I ever owned. I did have an Associated touring car for a little while. I traded that off for a Bruiser. That was a mistake, because I still have that Bruiser, but the only thing salvageable were the front and rear axles, suspension, well, the leaf springs, and the chassis. The gearbox was totally gone. The electronics box broken into bits by the time I got it. There's just not really much to save of that truck, but this truck we're gonna get running again, just for the hell of it. It was a fun truck. I had a lot of good times with it. Myself and my best friend used to wander around a field near my house back in junior high and high school. He had a low-seat buggy. I had this thing, so we just wander around for, I think we both had 2 batteries, so we could do about 20 minutes if we weren't full throttle the whole time. We're really working them hard. That is going to do it for this video, so be sure to subscribe so you can see this thing come back to life, and click like if you like really old toys, and we'll catch you in the next one.